I want to get your feelings as you watch this play out.
Thank you for this opportunity. I wish I had this under better circumstances, but I thank you for giving me the opportunity to address you and also to address our fellow friends in Poland. You know, we are devastated. President Kaczynski was one of the biggest friends I personally had, and you know, I've been in politics for quite some time, and it's so rare to have real friends in politics. This man had capability to be a real friend. His spouse, Maria, was an amazing, amazing personality. You know, me and lots of other people lost their friends on this plane. And I can tell you, I mean, this is the man who, this is a great loss not only for Poland, but I think this certainly is a great loss for my nation. He was a hero of Georgia. He was a hero of our fight for our freedom. And I think he was a great voice of freedom and great voice of Europe worldwide. And I think this is I mean, I'm overwhelmed. I mean, I was really, since this morning, you know, I just have to tell our Polish friends that, you know, they should know that they are not alone. My nation, and I think many others, are mourning with them. And we will never, ever forget what President Kaczynski, what Lech Kaczynski has done for us in the most difficult moments of our history, was still doing for us, what he has done for Europe. I mean, this was the man who came to politics with great heart, with great courage, 30 years of fight with Solidarność, and he kept his heart for all these years. He kept his courage, and he never betrayed his principles. And for me, he's a hero, and he's certainly a great personal friend.
And sir, you know, I understand your devastation at this time from very much a personal and a political perspective. I wonder if we can talk more about the legacy of the Polish president, because he was, as you say, a very popular man. I mean, people liked him, and even political foes liked him. So what do you think his legacy is at this
Look,
time?
I've met lots of world leaders. I've met lots of politicians. I've rarely met, if I have ever met, somebody with this level of integrity, this level of, you know, he had, I mean, despite where they were, you know, in today's world, when you praise everybody tends to be pragmatic, cynical, this was the man whose main actions were always dictated by his principle and by his great heart. I will never forget when he came, you know, at every moment when we needed him, we needed help so desperately, or we needed somebody to act. He was the first one we would ever go to. I remember when he came to Georgia, where we were being bombed. He came in, and he was told he shouldn't have come. He gathered all the world, several European leaders. You know, they told him that they wouldn't let their plane into our airspace. And despite everything, he took personal risks then back in 2008, showed amazing courage, came to a place which was supposed to be bombed at that time because that was the menace, and they stood in front of the people and basically, together with other European leaders, you know, led defense of our independence, of our freedom. And I think this kind of, you know, this kind of side of Poland, when this was the man, I mean, who, you know, we had, for instance, this tragedy of Katyn. He was the one also discovered the role of my countrymen played in Polish army. He was the one that opened the occupation museum in Warsaw. He was all about freedom. He was all about courage. He was all about right vision of history, and certainly the right vision of the future. I can tell you, I mean, you know, the way he loved Poland, the way he loved freedom, and the way he could love others. That's something that, you know, I would love to, whatever is left to me for the rest of my life, to copy and follow, because certainly absolutely exceptional personality, a great politician, and absolutely great human being. Again, his wife Maria the same, and lots of other people on that plane. I mean, I have to express my gratitude for Polish people for having elected such president, for having chosen such politician to lead their country, and certainly I can understand their loss, because it's also our loss, it's also our devastation.
And sir, I mean, it is so unusual to hear someone speak so highly of another political figure. It's quite extraordinary to grasp that and what has happened, the information that's coming into us, the details on this tragedy. Because you do speak so highly of him, how difficult do you think it is to fill the political vacuum that he quite clearly has left?
Look, I cannot imagine, anybody of his magnitude. And I think these days, this kind of courage, this kind of big heart and principles are so exceptional that I don't think anybody would ever feel to his shoes. I think Polish nation is an amazing nation. It's a nation that is all about freedom, they've lived through so many tragedies. They've lived through so many devastations. And still, look, they carry on. They survive. They are great survivors. This is a nation of survivors. This is the nation that always sacrifices itself for freedom. But in the end, I think they will be free. They will be successful. And I think Lech Kaczynski, and, I was a young politician when I first met him, and since that moment we became close friends, and I never called him president, I called him Lech, and I think Lech will always be remembered as absolutely outstanding figure of Polish history, of European history, certainly of the history of my region. As I told you, if I have to name who played amazing role in terms of fighting for Georgia's own freedom, for Georgia's future, I would put President Kaczynski very high in that gallery, and that's not an exaggeration. I think my countrymen feel that way. I think we've seen his courage. I think we've seen his personal commitment. And don't only talk about political courage. I've seen his physical courage. I've seen his physical determination to do things. I've seen his, rapid reactions, and I've seen him standing up for principles when, basically, at the moment when very few other people dare to do the same. And, what can I say? Something that happened today is tragic. There is something incredibly evil about the whole thing. But I think the vindication for his existence would be if freedom finally wins, if Poland is successful, and if all the ideals he always fought for, and he was a great fighter. He was a great fighter. I think that these ideals prevail. I think they will prevail. Ultimately, good will always defeat evil, even if today what happened is absolutely, for me, it's an absolute evil and a tragedy what happened today.
What do you mean when you say evil? What are you saying?
Well,
what are you implying?
The way he died, of course, there is a symbolism in all that. I don't want to comment about it. I think that every Pole feels that, but of course it's a tragedy. And but the point here is, I think I think there is also a great thing about his life, and I think ultimately his life, what he achieved, the legacy he leaves behind in terms of emotions, politics, human relations, his warmth of his heart, Maria's warmth of his wife's warmth of her heart, that will outlast everything else, and that will be, something that will stay for generations and generations. I'm totally convinced. That's all I can say to that.
And sir, you speak so highly of the president. What about his twin brother, Yaroslav Kaczynski? Would you see him? Does he have the same sort of personality traits? Would you see him as a likely successor here?
Look, this is not the day today to talk about likely successors or any politics, but certainly Yaroslav. All my emotions and all my support goes to Yaroslav now, goes to their mother, who is incredibly dear and was incredibly dear to Lech and to Yaroslav. This was an amazing, the relationship. I've never seen such amazing relations or rarely seen such amazing relations between wife and husband, and as Lech had with Maria, like with him, between brothers, as Yaroslav and Lech had with each other, with their mother, as they had with their mother. These were, human beings of amazing magnitude. And above all, politics is one thing, but ultimately what will stay, politics change every day, political priorities and sympathies shift, but human relationship, I think, stays. And I think what he gave to this incredible nation of Poland, incredibly tragic, but at the same time very, very brave and great nation, I think if you can speak about soul of Poland, I think in some way Lech Kaczynski was the soul of Poland, but I think the soul of Poland will never die, and certainly it will carry on together with his legacy. Thank you.
All right,
so much.
Georgian President Mikhail Saakashvili talking to us there from London. Thank you so very much. Now.